Hey everyone, this is Jay here, fellow Grump. Um, this is the picks that Sir Ian Mumford picked for me to watch, one of which I streamed, and I hated every damn minute while doing it. It took away some of my enjoyment from the film, I believe. I just couldn't get it out of my head that I was streaming a film, and I'm dead set against it for myself. You know, y'all do what you want, uh, but I don't condone it whatsoever. I just didn't enjoy it, and I think I might have enjoyed the film more, even though I did like it. Uh, if I would have just bought the goddamn thing and watched it, which never stopped me before. I should have just bought it earlier. It's a Charlie Chaplin film, and I've always been interested in watching a Charlie Chaplin film. I just never ever have over the years. Uh, Never grew up watching silent films at all. Other than Nosferatu, I've seen it several times. Never owned it, but I've seen it several times. Um, but I did enjoy The Kid, released in 1921, um, and I watched it on YouTube. And it was the 53-minute version, and it was originally released at 68 minutes, and Chaplin recut it in 1972 and added some new music to it. And I was amazed how well that film looked for 1921. I figured it'd be, full of scratches and debris, on films of that age, but it looked pretty good, even as I was streaming it. Uh, it looked good. It was a Criterion scan of it, so yeah, I'm going to probably for 2020 I collected movies from John Wayne, which I never had really been into collecting before, and I've watched several John Wayne films in 2020. I think for 2021 I'll do Charlie Chaplin, because if the rest of his films are like The Kid, I'm sure that I will enjoy them. Um, he plays the tramp, a lovable character that he's played in many of his films, and at the beginning of the film, a woman who, it's insinuated that she has a child out of wedlock, and she abandons him in an alleyway. Well, she abandons him in a new car, a real fancy car, and she thinks rich people are going to adopt the kid, and but the car is stolen, and the thieves leave the baby in the alley, and Charlie Chaplin, as the tramp, he comes along and picks up the baby, and it's funny. He tries to give it away, and nobody wants the baby, and so he finds the note that the mother left with the baby, and his heart just kind of melts, and he falls in love with the kid, and he raises the little boy, which he eventually names John, and the kid is played by Jackie Coogan, who started out as a child actor and best known to me as Uncle Fester from the Addams Family. Probably best known to a lot of people as Uncle Fester. But I did enjoy the movie, and I'm glad I watched it. Just to make a long story short, even though I did stream it, but yeah, I would like to see the 68-minute version, and I'm sure both versions are available on the Criterion disc, the 53-minute version and the 68-minute version, just to see what Chaplin cut out in 1972. But yeah, it was a good movie, Ian, and you've got me wanting to see some more Chaplin films. I don't know about many other silent films other than I always wanted to watch Metropolis, so maybe that's one I'll watch in the near future. But the second film he picked for me is a definitely more contemporary film, more of my liking. One I've seen probably at least 100 times since 1984, 85. The first time I watched it was on HBO, and it's 1983's Scarface with Al Pacino and Michelle Pfeiffer, Stephen Bauer, Robert Loggia, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, directed by none other than Brian De Palma, a great director who we all know and love. But this was an epic gangster film released in December of 1983, and when it was first released, it got terrible, terrible reviews because of the graphic violence, graphic drug use. I don't think there was really any nudity in it, but very, very, graphic language too. I think the word fuck was used in this film more than any other film up until, I think, when Eddie Murphy Raw came out in 1987, it overtook Scarface, and then when Goodfellas came out in 1990, it beat Eddie Murphy Raw. I remember watching this as a kid when I was 14, 15 years old for the first time, and I'd never seen anything like it as far as all the cocaine sniffing and the chainsaw scene in the bathroom where Tony Montana's buddy gets cut up. That always got to me. But when I watched this the other night, it was the first time I watched it in a couple of years, I guess. I'm so immune to it by now. I've seen it so many times. Nothing really bothered me in it. But man, this is a gorgeous looking 4K. One of the probably the top 5 4K releases that I have. It just looks incredible, and it's got like this 30-minute panel discussion with the main actors of the film reunited with Brian De Palma, Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer, Stephen Bauer. Great discussion about the film. I wish it would have been longer. I could have watched 2 or 3 hours of them talking about this film. Just great movie. I mean, and I mentioned that it got terrible reviews in 1983 when it came out, but critics have really warmed up to it over the years. It's now known as one of the best gangster films ever made, one of Pacino's best performances. And one of the things I found interesting when doing a little bit of research for this, Pacino and De Palma didn't want Michelle Pfeiffer cast in this film. She auditioned, done a great audition, but they did not want her because she was the girl from Grease 2, and they just thought she was just bubbly and blonde, and she wouldn't fit in. And even when she done her audition, they still didn't want her. But the producer Martin Bregman, who produced many of Pacino's films, he produced Dog Day Afternoon, Serpico, Carlito's Way. He insisted on Michelle Pfeiffer, and that's how she got to be in this film. But Giorgio Moroder, Italian film guy, music composer, he done the score for this, and it's a very haunting synthesizer score, very memorable. I always like to score kind of very haunting score. But very long movie, like 2 hours and 45 minutes, I believe, 2 hours 50 minutes. But it doesn't seem like it. It's full of action and drama and bad language and violence. Do you like this movie, Mike? Doesn't sound like your cup of tea, but I wonder if you've seen it and liked it. I thought of you while watching this, but I know Ian likes it, or he wouldn't have picked it, and he's talked about it many times. But this is a great movie. I think it's in my top 50 of all time, and 2 really good picks there for me, Ian. One that I never had seen that I really liked, and one that I've seen countless times and I really love. But down to two more movies from one more fellow grumpy gentleman, and that would be Harry Benson. The two films he picked for me are The Shallows, the shark movie that came out 2 or 3 years ago, which I've seen several times and I do like it. I watched it again last night and liked it just as much. And I'll be doing my videos of it, and what was the other one? I still need to watch it tonight. Nosferatu, the 1979 Werner Herzog film. I may watch the German language version of it. I haven't watched it in a while, but there's two versions on the Scream Factory disc: the German language film and the English language film with yeah. And I do like both of them. But anyway, babbling here, and thanks for watching our videos on the Grumpy Old Gentleman channel, and take care, guys, and James, you especially take care, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.